Right, we start off with a bit of relaxation and a bit of breathing. Because the breathing is absolutely fantastic. And the most important thing I feel at the moment, and I felt for the last couple of months with the breathing, is managing your emotions. And even Jim was going out today now, and he has a big day ahead of him today now. And I said to him, keep breathing. And Sam has a big week ahead of him as well this week. So I said, keep breathing, and it's very important because when your emotions get the better of you, you tend to react. And if you react, you can lose control as well, because that's not good, because you'll waste energy. So to save energy, the breathing will help you to manage your emotions and just pause before reacting. Right? So the best breathing technique I found, and both Jim and Sam find, for relaxing you when you're feeling somebody's coming in on your space, or somebody's argumentative, or you have a stressful situation where you're going to work and there's important people at work, or you're doing an interview, or you're doing whatever you're doing, right? You have a difficult person in your life who makes snidey remarks, whatever. The first thing we do is take a breath. And let your breath be your first word. And I've started doing it lately, and it's really good. So if somebody asks you something and it's kind of awkward or whatever, just go, yeah, blah, 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 whatever it is you want to say. Because that just immediately calms your whole system down. We get triggered. I find I get triggered, quite quickly. I got triggered now last night by something, and I suddenly realized I didn't do the breath first, and it's like, or if you find I find I'm here and I'm doing something with Jim, and he'll do something, and he's so methodical. He's fabulous. I'm not methodical at all. I'm kind of like, okay, do that, do this, do that, whatever. And you're there and he's doing something. And I said, okay, so book that. We were booking flights. And I said, okay, book that. No, he said, I'll have a look now and do something. So I could feel myself getting heated. My body temperature was rising, and I was going, breathe. And you can feel yourself sinking down. And you just go, no, let him off now. Let him do what he wants to do, and let me just breathe. Okay? And I think that's very important when you're aware of your body and what it's doing and what direction it's going. You can actually bring it back. You can say, right, okay, time to breathe. So take a nice deep breath in and breathe out. And as you breathe out, you feel your whole body sinking. And that's great, because you feel, oh yeah, I'm a gear lower now. I'm more relaxed. So the exercise I'm going to do now first is a double inhale and an exhale through the mouth. So double inhale through the nose and an exhale through the mouth. Okay, so one breath in, another one, and out. Make the exhale extra long, right? And as you're breathing it out, I like to visualize sliding down a slide. So you can feel, and everything just sinks down and you're comfortable, and you can feel the chair beneath your body, supporting your back, supporting your whole body. Okay? And your feet are on the ground. If you have your shoes off and your feet on the ground, that is great. If you want to leave your shoes on, that's good. Shoes off is better. Now, next is a triple inhale. Okay? And what this does is this expands your lung capacity, and it gives you extra time to actually relax and get down. Okay, so it's an inhale once, twice, 3 times, and out.
Now, obviously, if you're in company, you're not going to make a loud exhale. But if you're not in company, get rid of that exhale loud, right? Your emotions are in your body, right? And they can get trapped in your body. And you could have emotions stored in your body from your childhood, right? And this is something that we need to kind of try and shake up a bit. And that's where the breathing comes in. It actually, I've seen people in a breathing group, right, where they're doing the breathing, and halfway through they start bawling, crying, right? And it's perfectly okay. In these breathing groups, you can do whatever you want. Some people roar out giggling and stuff, because all these emotions start getting moved, and that's excellent. That's what you want, because you could have a childhood trauma that actually comes up and you start bawling, or whatever it is that comes up, or sadness, or whatever it is, and you feel like I got freezing cold for some reason. Um, and I mean, I definitely wasn't cold, because when you're breathing, I find it warms you up, but for some reason I got freezing cold. So whatever emotions or whatever came out, I got freezing cold. So whatever your body does, that's fine. Have an extra blanket beside you when you're practicing, or have a nice blanket up as far as your waist, and you can pull it up against you, then up under your chin or wherever you want. But it's really good. Like, Ronan did a class for us here, and it was fabulous. It really was. And even listening to that on the repeat a couple of times a week, that breathing, just follow his instructions and do the breathing. And that is phenomenal. I mean, it just is phenomenal, because we want to shake up those emotions and get them out, right? You can't store them. And sometimes, I mean, I know I used to do it before. You try and bottle down your emotions. Like Jim used to say to me years ago when Sam was going away, don't cry now. And I'd be there, and I cried enough for the previous couple of months and years, knowing he was going away. But on the day, I had myself psyched out that I wouldn't cry. And who started bawling? Jim. So basically, it's emotions are emotions, and you basically, if you bottle them down, it's not good. It's good to let them out. So have a good cry. It's very, very good for you, right? So now we get a couple of exercises in now, and we will then move on to a little visualization. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get you to breathe all the way out, and then pause, and then breathe in all the way in and pause, and I'll count you through that, and then we let out. Okay, so breathe everything out, pause, then breathe all the way in through, up through your lungs. Feel your rib cage expand up to your chest, up to your collarbone, and pause. 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 Just relax and pause. No pressure here. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale. Okay. And breathe all the way in then, as much as you can take. And out. Feel all that relaxation. Now the next one is leave it all out. Again, pause, and then inhale as much as you can. And pause. And sip in. And sip in. Pause. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let it all out. Okay? Now just breathe normally. Nice deep breath in and out. And then in through your nose and out through your nose. and slow it down. And slow it down some more. And some more. Feel your breath getting quieter and quieter. And now try to breathe in and hardly make any noise at all. And out and hardly make any noise at all. Visualize the hairs on the inside of your nose hardly moving at all. And relax. This should have you in a nice, calm, relaxed state. Just breathe in and out nice and quietly, in and out through your nose. Feeling the peace. Feeling the stillness. Now I'm going to bring you to beautiful lakeside on Lake Garda in Italy. And you're just walking on a little path by the lake. And on the left-hand side is the lake. And on the far side of the lake, you'll see, in the distance, you'll see the trees. Maybe not a building or two. And the lake is still, very still. And as you walk along mindfully, you just feel the peace and quiet stillness. This is what we need. We need to find this spot where we can just be. You may hear little noises inside the house and outside your house, just let them off. Focus on the visualization of the lake. Can you see the lake? The still lake. You might have a couple of boats on the lake, little sailboats. Hear the birds calling out as they glide through the air. So happy in themselves. In the distance, you might hear children playing and laughing. As you walk mindfully and slowly, one step at a time. And coming up now, you'll see there's a little deck, kind of a protruding semicircle that goes out over the lake. I'm just going to go out and walk on that and just hold the guard and just look out. Breathe in the fresh air. Feel the light breeze in your face. Enjoy the air just brushing against your skin. Beautiful. Now, when you're ready, you can actually come back into the room. I could stay there forever. Try to wake up now. Oh, I get so relaxed. Hopefully you're all awake. You all awake? So today we are going to talk about managing our illness. for a better quality of life. You're just in time. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. The past is gone. Finished. Taboo. What we focus on makes all the difference, right? Okay, I can make myself severely sad right now by thinking of a dog down a dark alleyway at 11 o'clock at night, and it's pouring rain and there's thunder and lightning, and the dog is all wet and he's hungry and blah blah blah, and I would be very sad. But if I focus on like we did there, a beautiful lake in Lake Garda, or a beautiful beach in Hawaii, and the sunshine and sitting at a table eating all your favorite foods, you can feel good. So that's proof that what you focus on is very, very important. All right. So by focusing on things that are beneficial to you, like tapping into lovely memories, that is very important, right? Because we've got to look at our overall health, right? And our mental health and our mental fitness, as I like to say. Our mental fitness, we need to feed it every day, right? With different things, so that we can say, right, okay, what have I got to look forward to today? And if you're at home, right, you may say, okay, I'm going to sleep for 3 hours and then I'm going to get up and I'm going to have some yogurt and strawberries. I mean, that could be something you look forward to. Just little things to divide up the day. You might have a little program you want to watch, comedies and stuff. And that the sun might be shining. You might say, right, okay, I'll go out when it's not too hot, and I'll sit in the sun and have my breakfast, and then I'll come back inside and relax. So you're getting your vitamin D, right? Because it's very important we get our vitamin D. Our vitamin D is so important for preventing colds and flus, preventing illnesses, better quality of life. It's unbelievable how important vitamin D is. It really is now. And even someone was telling me there lately that every time I'm cooking mushrooms, which is quite often, if I take them and I get the dirt off them and I put them in a bowl and I put them up on the windowsill and then I cook the rest of the meal, the sun or even the light will put more vitamin D into the mushrooms. I mean, that was a great tip I'd never heard before, so it's very, very important to get out in the sunlight, even for 5 minutes periodically through the day, and just stand out there or sit out there and just like take off your glasses and whatever, and don't look directly in the sun, obviously, but look up to the sky and get the valuable vitamins from the sky. All right. And this is something that I've consciously had to do for the last while, because somebody was telling me your vitamin D could be low because of X, Y, and Z. And I now go out my shorts most days. Granted, there one day it was 15 degrees, and I said, no, shorts aren't coming out. She was going, why haven't you got your shorts on? And I said, because it's 15 degrees. And he said, yeah, but just put on 3 or 4 layers up top. So anyway, that is very important, very important. And I'm not a sun worshipper myself, so I would go out early, or maybe 6 o'clock in the evening is nice too, or under the shade. Under the shade is perfect. So yeah. Now we're all different, right? So it's important that we realize that everybody has an opinion, right? And I find that I love to see what different opinions are, because if I'm thinking about something, like say, for example, I went out last week to do some photography with dogs, right? And we were out in Currachase, and I'm going out in this pouring rain, and I'm thinking, what am I doing like? And Jim's drove me out because he wanted to go for a walk and he had some work to do as well in the car. So basically he said, I'll go out with you and you go do your thing. So I went out anyway, and the rain stopped, thank goodness. And I thought, taking a picture of a dog, like there can't be that much involved. But actually, there was a whole lot involved that I hadn't thought of. And that's why it's very important to realize everybody has a different opinion about things, how things should be done. And they may say, okay, you can do something like X, Y, and Z. You don't have to do exactly as they say, but you can pick what you want out of it. Like everything I say today, I'm not telling you to do absolutely anything today. You don't have to do anything I say, but it's important that you take what you need out of it. And if it's only one thing, right, that you find out of this talk that benefits you, well, then you're that bit wiser, you know, and it will help you to improve your day-to-day living. And that's what we need until we find a cure, which hopefully won't be too far. So yeah, and also if you're out and you're in company and people have lots of opinions and stuff and people are arguing, just sit back and relax and watch them. Just observe, because it's actually quite fun rather than getting sucked into it. Um, you actually lose energy when you get sucked into it, right? Because you start arguing or you start trying to. I used to be the peacemaker and not, no, don't, try to distract them, whatever. Now I just don't bother. I let them at it and I watch them, and I'd be watching, what's going on and stuff, and seeing why is she getting so upset, or why is she annoyed now, or what's after ticking her off, like, So, we don't have to agree. If everybody could just learn this one thing, then there wouldn't be any fighting or anything, because okay, they have an opinion on this and they have an opinion on that. That's fine. Let them have their opinion. My opinion is completely different. So once I got the hang of that, well, I got it a long time ago because I never disagreed with my mother. So basically, it was a case of, it was just for a quiet life. You kind of go, oh yeah, they think like that. Sure, let them, and I will basically, I don't have the same opinion, but that's fine, you know. Next thing then is to be yourself, 100%, unapologetically, right? Just be yourself. It's a lot of energy to try and be something you're not, putting on these masks and stuff, pretending, that I know you have to be polite when you go out. Like, you can't. I heard a story there lately of a young one who went out for dinner and she sulked the whole way through dinner. Like, I mean, that's just rude, but at the same time, you can basically go out and you don't have to be quiet, but you don't have to sulk. If you are tired, you are tired. The other thing is, you can decide not to go out. Sometimes I decide not to go out because I know that I'm in bloody awful form now, so I'm not going out because it wouldn't do me or anyone else any good. So just be yourself, and if anybody tries to change you or alter you or tell you you're to this or to that, at this stage of our lives, we are what we are. We don't have to change for anybody. And if they don't like it, they can take a long walk, So that's important, because it's just wasting our energy. And that's what we need to do. We need to not waste our energy. Okay. Next thing is about life not being perfect. It certainly isn't. So when things go wrong, usually unexpectedly, again, breathe, and just go inward and say, right, okay, let's gather my thoughts now. What do I need to do? Right. Okay. So give yourself a minute and then ask, what's the next step I need to make? Right. And that will conserve energy as well, because sometimes when things go wrong, people panic, and when you panic, your brain freezes and you can't think of anything, and it's like you're trying to remember someone's name and it's like, oh my god, I can't remember their name, whereas 10 minutes later, when you're relaxed, their name floats into your head. So it's important to just gather yourself and go into solution mode. Right? Solution mode is definitely the way to go when things go wrong. Just breathe and gather yourself, and your thoughts will come. Your survival skills will kick in, right? It's happened to me a good few times now, and I didn't have anyone around to actually call at the time, and I didn't have time to call anyone anyway because I was like, I had to get into gear. It was quite quite an imperfect time, as they say. So basically, you gather your thoughts. You just say, right, what do I need to do next, and take action. And the action will eliminate all the anxiety and everything because you're moving forward and you're doing something. So you eliminate all that kind of anxiety. All right. None of us like change, right? I don't know anyone who likes change. Does anyone here like change? No, no, none of us like change. And I find I used to be very bad at change. And I just would kind of, my whole body would just go, oh, no, no, no. Jimmy talk about moving. I go, no, 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 no. But then what I discovered was, okay, if you embrace change, right, and figure out which way will suit you to embrace that change, right, you can make some rules that suit you and basically take it step by step. And then it's not so frightening because change can be very frightening, right? Things can happen, and things will happen, like things will change. But the thing to do is, again, breathe, relax, and say, right, okay, if this is happening, let's make sure that we have X, Y, and Z to help us to feel more safe and secure. Because change causes us to feel very fearful. So if you feel a little bit of safety and security in the change, then you can embrace it. Okay. Now, the next thing is about life in general, right? And finding the silver linings, right? There's always a silver lining, and nothing lasts forever. As I say, this too shall pass, right? Decide to look for the good. Things kind of will go pear-shaped, but there's always something good will come out of it, you know. So it's important to have a look and see, right, okay, where's the silver lining in all this stuff? I could use another word, but I won't. That'd be good. But yeah, it's important to kind of, right, deal with it and say, right, okay, it is what it is, but this is the good side of it, this is, at least it wasn't like this, look for the silver lining. I find that before you go to sleep at night, right, revisiting the best things that happened during the day, right, so you get yourself in a nice place and you'll sleep better then, right? So if you look back on the day and you say, oh, that was lovely now, and it might only be a moment, or it might be an hour or two that you went through, whatever you did. Like last Saturday, I did 2 hours out in Currachase, and oh my God, it was lovely. And I revisited that night and went through it, and I went to sleep and I slept like a baby, And I really drifted off. I didn't have any trouble going to sleep because my mind was relaxed. There was nothing else in my mind. I completely went into the day that I had and the time I had out there, and I relived it, and just you visualize even walking through the woods and seeing the leaves and the trees and the bits of wood on the pathway and the dogs and the whatever. I mean, and you end up you're telling yourself a good night story, really, and you're looking back over the things and you're grateful for it. And that's important because gratitude is such a lovely vibration. It really is. And it's important that our vibrations stay up, try and keep them up, because when they go low, it's just so hard. It really is. It's hard, So we all have things to complain about. right? All have things to complain about. And that's okay. That's okay. But maybe if we say to ourselves, okay, like Sam says to me about if I have a good cry over something, he said, okay, right, you can have a good cry, but I'm used to limit it, right? We put boundaries on it. Complaining is the same thing, right? Okay, complaining does our body no good whatsoever. So if you have something to complain about, give yourself a minute. I have to do this with the girls when I go out because there's some of them that are fierce complainers. And I go, right, I'm giving you 2 minutes and I'm going to the washroom. When I come back, I want you all your moans and groans gone, and then we'll carry on with our evening. Because it's like, oh my God, it could get really low vibration. Like, so time your complaints, say, right, okay, I need to get this out. I'm really annoyed about blah 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 blah. And then say, right, okay, that's gone now. You've got it out, and then focus on something else, right? Focus on something else. You can go out in the garden for a bit, or you can turn on a comedy, or you can read a page of a book, whatever it is you want. But if you get caught in that complaining mode, geez, you'll not only drag yourself down, but you'll drag everyone else down. And that's not good for anyone, especially you. So if you do have something that you want to get off your chest, get it off your chest, and then punch your pillow if you want to get out the frustration and stuff. And then, right, okay, we've got rid of that. That's the end of it. Let's move on and let's go down and have a cup of tea. So you're putting stabilizers on your negative emotions, say, right? Because negative emotions aren't bad per se, right? It's the emotions that come, right? It's the emotions that come with it. Your negativity, the negativity is negativity, but the emotions that fill your body are so bad for you, right? And that's what we're trying to limit, right? Okay, we're trying to limit that. We're trying to get out what we need to get out in the minute and say what you're frustrated about, and then be done with it, right? Off you go, out you go. That's the end of it. And then you go and you make the steps towards a solution if there's something you can control, and it's if it's no solution, just let it go. Okay. Tick, 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 tick. When you are out and about, I find that if you deal with people from the heart, right? Okay, when you're talking to people, it's much easier on you, and it actually gives a lovely vibration to the other person as well. So you speak from the heart, you speak warmly to people, right? Okay, and if someone's upset or whatever, just let them off to talk about it, whatever, for a while, and then change the direction of the conversation. But if you can stay warm in your heart and be kind, it does you the world of good, and it makes life a lot more pleasant for yourself. And also what it does is it releases you don't have as much anger and frustration and everything inside in your body, which causes tightness. And when it causes tightness, it causes pain, right? And you're restricting the body because you're restricting everything. You're tightening everything, and your chest is tight, and your arms are tight. And you have an ache in the back of your neck and whatever. Whereas if you just try and relax and let it go and just say, right, everyone has their own opinions, blah blah blah, and just chill out and relax and go, listen, everything will be okay. I survived this long. I'm going to survive. I'm going to survive for the next 40 years or whatever age we are, you know. Um, and say, right, okay, whatever comes. I can handle it, right? And you will handle it because we always handle none of us here have not had a situation where we have to get in gear and sort something out. And the more serious it is, the faster we get in gear and we just sort it out, you know. And then you sort it out and you come up with a solution and you move on into taking action. And that's important. And then you can go back to your being kind and being, let people off if they say things and stuff, I mean, as long as they're not disrespectful, but you can still handle that with love. You can still handle that with a kind heart, Do you know, you can put boundaries on it, and you can say things like, talking to me like that isn't acceptable, but you don't have to say it in a really, you know, defensive mode. It's the emotions of defensiveness and stuff that if you can manage those, you'll find you're not burning as much energy, and then you'll have more energy to put into other things. And that's what we want. Our energy is like gold. It's just like gold. We don't want to be wasting it on silly little things, right? And we will. And I have, I mean, you're talking to Miss Emotion here. It took a long time to manage my emotions, but I've gotten very good at it now. I've gotten very good. I still have work to do. I'm still a work in progress, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there, slowly but surely. The other thing too is I find, and I had a challenge a couple of months ago where I was determined to make someone smile. Now, this person was, to say the least, challenging, right? And I was very determined to make them smile. And I did. I did, so much so that it was like, oh my God. And it was absolutely, it proved that, Jesus, if you try hard enough, you really can make someone smile, you know. And it wasn't through trying and trying and trying, but it was just by kind of listening and kind of feeding them with little bits of information or whatever, and making certain comments and stuff, and feeding into what they like. Like, I think this particular person showed me a picture of the grandson, and when you feed into that, you can see the love and the real person coming out. The grumpiness and all the negativity and everything that they've built up around them peels off, and they suddenly smile with the love that they have for their grandchild. Do you know, which is lovely to see. It really is. Because I tell you, at the beginning of the conversation, I was going, "Oh God Almighty, how am I going to do this?" But I did. I managed. I managed to get through it, through having putting the kindness in, channeling into the person's thought process, and kind of working around them, and giving that smile. Do you know, a smile is very powerful. Now, it sometimes a smile can work instantly, or it can take a little while. This took a little while, but it worked eventually. But it was the biggest challenge I've had in years. We have this woman in the shop, and oh my God, she's unbelievable. She's so grumpy, and now I've learned to manage her years and years later. Like, and we have a good old laugh together. But Jesus, at the beginning, everybody up there is terrified of her, like, because she's so grumpy. I mean, she's unbelievable. Like, what do you want? And then you'd be there and you'd say, "It's a lovely day. Don't talk about the weather. If I hear another person talking about the weather, I swear to God, I want to kill them." You're going, "Jeez, okay." Oh my God. So some people are challenging, but you go, okay. But yeah, so work from the heart and smile, right? Okay. And if they're insulting or whatever, just walk away. Don't waste your energy. Just walk away, right? Um, if you find a friend or stuff is feeling a bit down, you could ask them, what made you happy lately? Is there anything that in particular made you happy lately? And they talk about that, and it actually it peels off that layer of negativity as well, because they go, oh yeah, and they start going back into that memory, and it works really well. So that's a good one. And then it just makes everything more pleasant for you, because our main priority is to make life better for us, so that we don't waste energy on things we don't necessarily need to waste energy on. So if we can have a good time with other people, that makes us happy, and that has a good effect on our hearts and on our bodies, right? Because our bodies need to be loose and free, right? They don't need to be tense and worrying and anxious and all the rest of it, right? Because I tell you now, 70% of what we worry about never even comes true. Never even comes true. We worry about things all the time, and hardly any of it comes true. and I do it myself. I find myself doing it as well. That, you know, you'd be worried about something, and then you go, will you stop worrying about that? I talk to myself all the time. I say, you stop worrying about that. It probably never happened, you know? So we do worry about things an awful lot that we don't need to worry about. So if we could lower that and enjoy life and just do things. And when things come up that we need to deal with, we'll deal with it, right? Okay, so trust in yourself that you'll be able to deal with the problem when it comes up, or the situation or the challenge when it comes up, and then there'll be no need to worry about it, right? So you could say to yourself, right, okay, what am I worried about? I'm worried about this. Right, okay. If the worst case scenario happens, can I deal with it? And you say, yes, I can. Right, grand. Leave that off then, right? And put the worry in the bin. So now, next thing, pattern interrupt, right? If you find you're in a certain pattern and you want to interrupt it, the fastest time you interrupt it, the better, because if you're in it and you kind of realize you're in it, change direction straight away, right? Flip the script, right? And like Jean said there, say, right, okay, I'm not doing this now. I'm going to do it at 7:30 tonight. That's my time for doing it, right? So pattern interrupt. If you're worrying or you're doing this, that, and the other, whatever it is, say, no, I'm not doing this. Even an argument, right? Okay, if somebody's trying to argue with you, go, no, I'm not arguing with you right now. So I'm not in a good space. This won't go well. So can we do it another time, please? And half the time you don't even come back to the argument because it's over something small, you know. So yeah, so that's important. Pattern interrupt is very important. Write a gratitude letter to someone. This will benefit you and them, right? And it's a lovely little exercise. And you actually you get a real buzz out of doing it, right? So take out a paper and pen and write a gratitude letter to your mum or your dad or your friend or whatever. And you don't have to send it if you don't want to, but it's always good to send it. And that goes for anything. If you have something you want to get out of your head, write it down. Good, bad, or indifferent, write it down at the time you want to write it down. Say, if you don't want to write it down straight away, you say, no, I'll go and write that at 7:00 this evening, and put it in the calendar if you want to, so you'll remember, because you need to deal with things, right? You can't avoid things, you need to deal with them. So you'll find when you go back to deal with it, it's halved in intensity, right? And you'll find that actually it wasn't as intense because the emotion has dropped, right? The emotion is what drives us nuts, right? Our emotions flare up, and then we do things, and you catastrophize, and it all goes out into a big bubble, and it's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And it all blah blah blah. If you say to yourself like that, I'll do it at 7:00 tonight, I'll deal with that, right? Not now, and divert it out, right? Very important. Scheduling fun time. Love this one. Love this one. Yeah, if you only have a little 5 minutes of fun every day, that's important, right? If it's playing your favorite little, I've discovered a little, I do the Duolingo every day, and I do it now, and I stopped the subscription because I was doing it for a good few years, and I said, I'm not paying for a subscription anymore now. I'll pay for it when I really need it and I'm going on holidays. So I stopped subscription. So you've all these ads, but there was a little ad on, right? And it was all these cars pointing in different directions and all these people waiting to be picked up, and they were all in different colors. So you had little red people, little yellow people, little blue people, and then you had the cars and the arrows were fit. You know it. So yeah, so you press the ones that are pointing out and can get out, and then the little people get into it. But then you run out of cars, and you're there and you lose. But I found this out. Oh my God! If I download this now, I'm finished. But if you want to download it, I might download it and allow myself 5 minutes every day to play it. That can be my fun time. But whatever it is you slot in for that time, have your 5 minutes of fun every day. Something that makes you smile. I watch YouTube videos of dogs, and there was one this morning that made me chuckle. And it was this lady had an outdoor pool, and she had two Labradors, right? And there was a storm coming, and she had to get the dogs out of the pool because water and storm don't go hand in hand. So you had to get out of the pool. So she called her young fella out and says, "Get in the pool and then swim over and get the dogs out." So he got in the pool, he swam over, got the dogs out, and then he says, she went to try and get the dog, and of course he diverted out and ran around the pool and dived in the other side. And I was wet myself. Oh, it was so funny. And he said, come here, don't go in the pool, you little. And it was hilarious. They must have jumped in and out of the pool about 4 times, and then I don't know, I presume she got them, but it was very funny. So things like that make you chuckle, you know. Slot that in, but time it, because you can get carried away on these Instagram pages and stuff, and dogs and animals and all the rest of it. So time it and say, right, I'm going to give my 10 minutes to do this, and then I'm going to go and whatever you're going to do, put on a wash or whatever, or go for a walk or meet a friend or whatever. Just say, right, 10 minutes, here we go. And it's great. It's great. And it's a fun time, and you chuckle and you feel happy, and it's all those good hormones going off, right? So that's very important. I'll just run through a couple of other things. Visiting nature is very good for our health. Hugging a tree, walking on the grass barefoot, breathing in the fresh air, laughing. Have a chuckle with your friend, right? Okay. Make someone smile. Make the necessary changes to improve your life. Make the choices you make better for you, right? Okay, so that you're not like, I know Jim came home last night. I had rang him and said, I knew he had a very busy day yesterday. I said, ring me and tell me if you're coming home for dinner, and I'll cook dinner for you. If not, I'll know you're going out, right? Because there was clients over. And basically, he never rang me, and he arrived home at 7:30 with what I only can describe as an absolutely revolting meal. It was one of these ones you get in the supermarket, the packaged meal, turkey, ham and gravy that looked as if it was plastic and stuff, whatever. And then he had a caramel, was it a caramel bar, whatever it was. And I tell you now, right, they were not the right choices of food to eat. I could have made him a beautiful dinner, right, to eat, but no, he didn't get 2 seconds to text me and say, cook me dinner. So you just brought home that. So those kind of choices, he's a devil for that. When he's really busy, he goes to convenience and stuff and eats bars, and I think he drank a beer as well last night and stuff. So it's like, it's just the choices you make are very important, right? Okay, for your own good health, right? Because whatever we can do for ourselves to improve our quality of life is what we can do. Do you know, we are in charge of that. We can control that. So fill your cupboards with all the good stuff. The other thing then is high five yourself in the mirror every morning, right? When you're washing your teeth or you're washing your face, whatever, go, good morning, and high five yourself in the mirror. Apparently, it's been scientifically proven that high fiving is one of the most motivating and lifting things you can do. The sports guys do it, right? When they win goals or whatever, or they tries or whatever. And there was a test done, a scientific test done once, and the team that did the most high fives got the most scores in their matches. So it is a feel good factor, right? When you high five someone, it is pretty cool, all right. You know, you go high five to a kid, you know, and you give it to them, and they all smile and stuff, and it's a feel good factor. So high fiving yourself in the mirror and telling yourself you are enough. There you go. That's your feel good factor for the morning, and start your day out with an intention. Today is going to be a good day. I can manage anything that comes my way today, right? And yeah, we'll leave it at that.